I stopped trying to get licensed because the things I do, when I work with others who have license, they say, Zeke, if I were to help you do what you want, I will lose my license. When they get licensed, their hands are tied behind their back. I get involved with the people that I'm helping, and the things I do, I would lose my license. Even psychology professors say if I answer that question, they don't want the 9 out of 10 questions they throw out. They don't want to. It gets their hands tied behind their back. They can't do work because all these protections are built in, the policies. They can't help. They screw people up. So I said, I don't need license. I study myself. I learn from people like you, and I do the work myself, what I need to do. Because they prevent you. They put a wall between you and the person you're trying to help. With all of these protections, you can't help. You can't help because with the wall, two people need to be connected to help each other. If there's a wall between them with these policies, they can't help. They screw it up even worse. They traumatize therapy, psychology traumatize a patient because there's wall between them. There needs to be real connection, and that connection is prevented with the policies in the field of mental health. When even Go ahead. That's what it is. That's why the field of psychology gives so much insight, but the field of mental health screws people up because their misconception about the neurodiverse. The people who are like this, each one has their own language, the way they reason, the way they make sense. And they don't know the language. They just write them off and say they don't make sense. They just put diagnosis on them, label on them, and they lose all credibility. If you got to know the individual, know their individual way. Yes, I get that. That's why I value so much. Now we're having real connection. And we're having connection. We couldn't have this connection if you were licensed, you were my therapist. We're having connection because we're allowed to. You're allowing to tell me these things you're telling me. If you had license, if this was a psychotherapy session, you wouldn't. That's my experience. If you're a professor, you wouldn't. The real help comes from friend to friend, peer to peer. And I have my friends help each other. The therapeutic value of someone who has the same condition or similar, who has had the same thing, helping another is million times better than someone who studied in university, done research, read textbook, all the lectures, but they haven't experienced themselves what it's like to have their mother abuse them as a child or be betrayed like that. They can't help because they're looking down at the person but not connecting with them as an individual, as another soul. So they screw them up.